readable map of why memory manipulation is central to brainwashing, how it works, psychologically and neurologically, why threats of torture strengthen it, what the childlike interrupter role does, what the manipulator's goals are, and practical ways you can show this in scenes without getting into harmful operational detail. Number 1, big picture, why memory manipulation is central. Memory is the scaffold of identity. What people remember about their past shapes their beliefs about themselves and others, what they expect to happen next, whom they trust, and how they respond emotionally. If you can alter someone's memories, you don't just change a fact, you change the interpretive lens they use to make every decision. That's why false memories are a powerful lever for control. They rewrite a target's sense of who they are, what they deserve, and what's true. Number 2, how it works. Cognitive and neural basics, conceptual, encoding and reconsolidation. Memories aren't fixed. Each time a memory is recalled, it becomes malleable, reconsolidation window. Suggestion or new emotional framing during that window can alter the memory when it's stored again. Contextual cues. Memory retrieval depends on cues, people, places, phrases. If controllers repeatedly pair false narratives with strong sensory emotional cues, the false version becomes easier to retrieve than the original. Emotion and stress. High emotion and stress increase memory salience but reduce accuracy. Traumatic framing makes a memory feel real, even if details are wrong. Repeated rehearsal. Repeating a false version, especially publicly, makes it feel familiar. Familiarity is a powerful source of truth judgments. Number 3. Tactics, high level, not operational. You already mentioned core tactics. Here's why they matter psychologically, not instructions. Repetition plus authority. Saying the same false story from an authoritative source makes it feel legitimate. Emotional amplification, fear, torture warnings. Pairing a false memory with vivid threats or pain makes it emotionally charged. Emotion increases the memory's apparent reality. Social reinforcement. When a group repeatedly endorses a memory, especially peers or witnesses, social proof replaces personal doubt. Disorientation and interruption. When a target tries to counter or correct, interrupters create confusion, noise, accusations, theatrical outbursts. Confusion erodes confidence in the target's own recall and increases reliance on the group narrative. Controlled retrieval contexts. Controllers create situations where only the false memory is retrievable, specific cues, scripts, staged evidence. I'll avoid giving step-by-step instructions that could be used to harm, but those are the psychological levers. Number 4, why torture threat warnings strengthen false memories. Anticipatory fear binds the memory. Warnings of torture make the false narrative a survival-relevant story. Survival relevance increases encoding strength. Learned helplessness and avoidance. Repeated threats can teach targets that resistance leads to pain, so the easier strategy is to accept the controller's version to avoid harm. Acceptance becomes a coping behavior that's later reinforced as truth. False attribution. Under high stress, people misattribute the source of their beliefs. They think the emotional intensity confirms truth, not manipulation. Number 5, the role of childlike participants. Childlike interrupters. You described many participants as childlike. That can be a deliberate tactic in the narrative. Emotional confusion. Childlike actors can be unpredictable and emotionally intense, which disorients adult targets and makes them doubt their narrative competence. Moral leverage. If the interrupters present as innocent or dependent, the target may feel guilt or protectiveness, making them more pliable to suggestions. Distracting theatricality, childlike behavior can mask scripted cues, while the target focuses on the spectacle. Subtle memory reframing happens in the background. Undermines adult epistemic authority. If adults see children remembering a version of events, some adults will defer to perceived innocence or assertiveness of the group memory. Number 6, the manipulator's goals, what they're actually trying to achieve. Control of behavior. False memories produce predictable responses aligned with the controller's aims. Identity capture, making the target interpret themselves as complicit, guilty, or special seals longer-term conformity. Isolation and delegitimization. If the target doubts their own memory, they rely on the group and are easier to isolate. Deterrence. Fear of torture narratives deter dissent and create self-censorship. Gaslighting and credibility erosion. Repeatedly changing the memory and then telling the target they remembered wrong causes self-doubt, a classic